Oh wow. I took my hair out. I mean to wash it, but I'm like, let me get some sweat in for the day. Let me get some sweat in for the day. I have a couple of pieces of ginger that I'm starting inside the house. A bunch of them are on like wet paper towels, essentially like water light, right? But a couple of them I had put on soil, and the ones I put on soil, I had not like. I broke the pieces off. I could have waited a day, but I broke them off, and they kind of were drying up, so they were kind of like fibrous when they pulled apart. They weren't super like even the cuts or clean the cuts. And I should have waited a day. I didn't, and I kind of just put them on soil, and they started to get mold. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not done with you yet. I'm not giving up on you yet. I put them outside. There's some outside garden, so I have some pots out here. Now tomorrow we're gonna go back down from the 70s, 60s highs, 50s lows to the 50s, 30s lows. Winter weather, and that's cool. That's great. That's fine. But I was gonna put it out today regardless because they're molding. So I throw them out or experiment. So I'm doing the best experiment I can, which is to put them in the little mini greenhouse I have out here. So here's the mini little greenhouse that my sister got for me a couple years ago from IKEA. I meant to figure out some way to close this gap here so it doesn't get full of water. But instead what I'm doing is, I probably could use another one, is I'm gonna just lift it up so it tips out because when I came up today it was full of water at the bottom. Now how do I prevent the same from happening? I probably need to put another thing to tip it up, another paint mix ruler, whatever. But I did also put these wrapping paper on to increase the calefaction, the heating effect, right? The greenhouse heating effect. So I have a couple of these clothespins have come in clutch. They're not the best, being that they're 54 for $1, but they come in clutch when they work, right? And then secondly, we have had a big pile and still do. I need to take off a lot of the tape off of those, but that's have been here for a while. Wow, how is that tomato still here? Anyway, there's also still a lot of grass I need to take and move elsewhere. Anyway, I took a bunch of the cardboard and I had laid it over here before, but not this evenly and not this heavy of a layer. So I'm probably gonna keep layering it as more and more cardboard becomes available. And I don't know if I should put mulch here as a little walkway. If we even need it really, probably do because the cardboard will decay and will have holes and things will come up. So a layer of mulch would be nice. Ooh, there goes a lizard. Mr. Lizard Man. Oh, there he goes into the, okay. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Oh, so last year I had bought a lilac and I was ready because it said 4 to 7. I'm 8, but I still don't understand how that works because I'm 8, so I should be fine here. But not everything that needs cold is fine in warmer temperatures all the time, right? Especially now that we're 8B, no longer 8A even. Anyway, but it's doing fine. My whole thing was let me cover it with something to try and keep the pot it's in, the soil, moisture level, water saturation level, relatively even until this gets somewhat established. So I had a bunch of yellow capricoa because it was next to some pansies. I'm never getting pansies again. They are actually I knew this, but I didn't know it. They're aggressive. So on the one hand, I love this because it's in the winter keeping the soil doing that clean thing, right? And it's pretty. The purple is really, really pretty. So I'm not gonna take it out. I know it's pretty. But yeah. But anyway, here's a lilac. You can see. Okay. I don't know if you can see or not. The tips, the buds of this are actually kind of very red. It's very pretty. It's very hardy. So I'm gonna have me a little lilac bush, and I think I need to lean more into. It's very tempting to plant everything in ground, but I come from a container gardening background. So if I want a plant that maybe won't do well in ground here, maybe I could just container it up. Or vice versa type thing, right? So that's something I need to work on. Yeah. And then finally, that is my white Lysianthus. And you're like, what are you doing? What I experienced from this past year is that Lysianthus is doing better in pots than it is in ground. I'm not even sure the one in ground is still there, but we've still got some greenery here. And I think it went to seed. I think it had gone to seed. We'll see if it seeds up, but I think I'll probably get more Lysianthus regardless. Yeah. So I'm probably gonna be planting a lot of things this year, as many as I can from seeds and whatnot. So yeah. Okay, and so back here, this was cleared out obviously, but there was a lot more of this. But we have a lot of them established, and there's no real rush or need to get them out. I do believe, not entirely sure, but I do believe this is some of the sand plum. We should have a big brush of sand plum here. So that should be, in theory, you know, leafing out and setting bud and fruit real soon. So, and then the reindeer moss and whatnot. So there's my holly, my needlepoint holly, I believe. And over here, the idea in my mind was like, oh, I can plant more things to create more visual shading. We have a lot of pine here, but we also have a lot of oak in front of the pine. The front is almost entirely oak. So, you know, those will be thinning out. And then over the years, how will that look, right? So, just the idea. But also, I don't want too many trees. I mean, they're going to be thinning themselves out soon enough, and they're going to be falling, blah, blah, blah. It's not too many trees, so we have to deal with that. But enough, so it's like, yes. I kind of want one of the red maples that they're selling at the Walmart, but it's like, well, where would I even put that? I don't know. I mean, I could put one there. That'd be a thing, right? So, there's that. Finally. At the bottom, this is established, right? But a bunch of the bottom leaves are like deadish, right? So this one was kind of on the ground. I kind of just ripped off the bottom leaves and stuck it on the ground. I don't think it's gonna take, but you never know. I could do that with a little piece over there. That one right there. So, yeah. As I walk back to the house, I think, again, that these are some of the sand plums, and that they have started to, or they are starting to flower, as we see. So, love that.